Alrighty. I wonder if she can... No. It's just weaponsmithing. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of money. Okay. Let's go ahead and buy the radiation suits. I know we're going to need those at some point anyways. There's lots of ammo to buy. I think we'll go ahead and buy that small scope. I'm sure we can put it to good use. Ooh, that's a good submachine gun. Oh, this is junk. Don't need that. I can use some medic packs. Oh, only 400 for all of those? Let's not buy all of them. Let's buy half. And do I want more armor? Yeah, I think I do. Okay. So that should be useful. I think the armor will go... Oh, they both have armor. So I guess the armor will go to him. And the radiation suits go for the whole party, so that's nice. That means we can walk through pretty much all of those clouds that we've seen so far. And now time for some weapon modding. Since sturdy mags are pretty common. And we got a small scope as well. Okay, so the underbarrel flashlight and the small scope are actually... Who needs a plus chance to hit? I'm thinking the handgun. And probably the range as well. Long range, high chance to hit, low AP cost. That should be a pretty solid weapon. And a short barrel, minus range, plus chance to hit. I think on this, that might be pretty good. Okay, so now we have some pretty modded weapons. Let's fill up on water. There it is. still don't think they'll let us into the stupid citadel. But let's go double check. Good to see you, recruits. The General informed me that you've completed your mission in Ag Center and now have full Ranger privileges. Welcome to Ranger Citadel. Yay! Probably should have gone in before I bought all that stuff from them then. Well, let's go inside and see what we have here. Captain Hunter. Team Echo, isn't it? Nice to put a face to a name. I'm Captain Hunter, Team Delta. Your team doesn't look like the other teams we've met. That's because we're different from the other teams you've met. Special Ops. Aren't all Rangers special? What makes you different? Well, let's just say we're the Ranger team Vargas calls when other Ranger teams get out of line. Be seeing you, chum. Okay. I can take them. What do we got here? So these massive vault-like elevator doors have been polished to a military-grade shine. You can see small amounts of warping and tiny scuffs, likely the remnants of scorch marks, all around the edges. If you had to guess, the Rangers have tried everything from arc welding torches to C4 to open this behemoth with no success. Okay. Sergeant Wade Wasteland, one of the most technically minded members of the Rangers. He's wearing a makeshift pair of glasses and is starting to gray at the temples. Welcome, recruits. Nice to make your acquaintance. Good work saving the day and attaching the repeater units at Ag Center. The General and I thank you. Now I'm guessing you're here to learn more about this mysterious broadcast you've been helping us with. There's more here to get some nice stuff, but you know. What do you think of General Vargas? Ha! Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the General while I'm sitting right next to him, am I? You better not, Woodson. I'll take away your smokes ration. See? But seriously, I think the General has been a wise and cautious leader these past 15 years. Some of the boys may think he keeps it a little too cautious, but they're not the ones who have to field the calls when good men die. Since we started hearing these strange broadcasts, he's decided that the quiet times are over and his place is here, on the air, listening to the people of the Wastes and sending his troops into battle. Tell us more about the broadcasts. We don't know where they're coming from, or who's making them. Hell, they could be old pre-war recordings for all we know, but we've been hearing them since the sky started to clear, and they've got a threatening sound to them, so we've been trying to learn more about them, which is what we'd sent Ace out to do when that robot murdered him. Now, you've already attached one of our repeater units to the radio tower at the Ag Center, but because you were unable to do the same at High Pool, we're in a bit of a bind. See, we intended to make a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array. Okay. Using those two towers, our tower here and the tower where Ace died. Linking those four would have allowed us to pinpoint the origin of the signal. Now, however, we're going to have to try to find the radio tower the General already mentioned to you in Demonta, if it even exists. Got all that? Good. Not really. What do you mean by quiet? Well, we spent the 15 years since we defeated the base Cochise AI retrenching, rebuilding the Citadel, rebuilding our numbers, solidifying our position. It's made us a stronger organization, I think, but we also have a smaller footprint now, and some of the places we used to patrol have kind of fallen off the map. Now, though, I think it's time to wake up. The world is changing. These crazy broadcasts, the Red Scorpions in the old prison, reports of trade routes to the east, where we thought there was nothing but radiation. If the Rangers still want to be a force for good in the world, then we gotta start stepping out beyond our own backyard. What do the skies have to do with it? Well, it's only a theory, but my guess is that the fallout that's been floating around in the ionosphere since the war has been muddying things up there, stopping long-range broadcasts from being reflected back to Earth. Now maybe the fallout is starting to decay, and the ionosphere is slowly returning to normal, allowing it to reflect radio waves like it used to back in the good old days. Or not. I only know what I read in salvaged books. Whatever caused it, we're definitely picking up more distant radio signals these days than we were able to even 3 months ago. So, what is a repeater unit again? We use repeater units to boost a weak radio signal out in the field and transmit the data back to the Citadel, and let me tell you, it was hell trying to find enough parts to make the ones we needed, which is why I'm so glad you were able to find the ones Ace was carrying. What do you know about Ag Center? I'm so glad you were able to save Ag Center. They're doing so much to develop hardier animal and plant stock that will survive out here in the wastes. It would have been a real blow to have lost them. You know about High Pool? I'm sorry you weren't able to save High Pool. Its reservoir and treatment plant provided water for us and the other communities in the area. It will be sorely missed. What's a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array? You sure you want to hear this? Most people's eyes glaze over when I start getting technical. Oh god. Yes. Really? Okay, you asked for it. So with the traditional Watson-Watt method of radio direction finding techniques, it is possible to find the direction from which a radio signal was transmitted using two Adcock antenna pairs to perform an amplitude comparison on the incoming signal. An Adcock antenna pair is a pair of antennas that take the vector difference of the received signal at each antenna, so there's only one output from the pair of antennas. Two of these pairs generate what can be referred to as north-south and east-west signals, which will then be passed to the receiver. In the receiver, the bearing angle can be computed by taking the arctangent of the ratio of the north-south to east-west signal. Given any four antennas of a known distance from each other, this method can establish a very accurate directional vector on an incoming signal. Satisfied? Yeah, I got some of that. You've heard of Demanta? I've been hearing the Red Scorpions radio chatter about that place for more than a year now. They claim it's somewhere beyond the eastern radiation clouds. I hope they're right. The radio tower that Gilbert says is rumored to be there could be our only hope of tracking down these mysterious broadcasts. The base Cochise AI, what's that? It was the Rangers' greatest enemy, though really all it was a malfunctioning machine, the mainframe of a pre-war military facility that somehow got into its circuit board head that everybody in the world was its enemy. It started pumping out robots to defend itself, and if we hadn't stopped it, those robots could have killed everyone in Arizona. Who are the Red Scorpions? The Red Scorpion Militia. They took over the old prison when we moved out. Not really much more than a raider gang, but they're starting to tell everybody they're the real law in Arizona, and they're asking people to call them for help instead of us. Maybe they're really trying to shape up, but I doubt it. Sounds more like an old-fashioned shakedown scheme to me. Anything to say about the prison? Our old home base. Not bad for what it was, but we'd been outgrowing it for decades. When we cleared the previous owners out of the place, we saw an opportunity to make a move. East? East of what? We always thought the radiation east of the prison was just too strong, and that travel that way was impossible. But now the Scorpions are claiming they've established a trade with a community beyond the radiation called Demanta, and also with a group calling themselves the Servants of Titan. We're not welcome in Scorpion territory, so we can't check the truth of all this, but they do seem to be getting better weaponry from somewhere, so maybe it's legit. Thanks for the info, Woodson. A stiff-bearded older man wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel. So, you saved Ag Center at the expense of High Pool. A tough decision, and I know it must weigh heavily on your minds, but a choice had to be made. And once you chose Ag Center, you did all you could to save it and its people. I am particularly pleased that you went out of your way to help Matt Forrestal. He was a great ranger and remains a credit to our organization now that he's left. Also, let me personally thank you for finding Ace's killer, whatever it was. I'm sorry your initiation into the Rangers has been such a trial by fire, but you've proven yourself tough under pressure, and in my eyes, that makes you fit to be a Ranger. You have earned the name. Welcome aboard, Rangers. Now, any questions? We found a page from Ace's logbook, sir. Did you? Excellent work. Let me have a look. Not much here, is there? Let me see. Felon with a snake-squeezing cellar. Okay. Getting that feeling of being followed. Damn, tells a sad story, doesn't it? Guess what came out of the dark was that damn killer robot. Well, looks like your best lead is to find the snake-squeezing salesman, whoever he is. Mentions Rail Nomad here, so have a look there, if you haven't already. Maybe this fella knows something more, like where the rest of the logbook is. Thank you for letting us into the Citadel, sir. It is your home now, recruits, a place to rest and resupply between missions, a place to learn and to share your knowledge with others. But it is more than that. Despite its tarnished history, the Citadel is a force for good, a shining beacon of justice in a dark land, a bulwark against barbarism in a world of lawlessness and brutality. Indeed, it is the furrowed field out of which the seeds of order will grow into a new and better civilization. Very poetic. Forgive me, get carried away sometimes, but I do believe we are making a difference, despite my shortcomings, and that our flame must not be allowed to be snuffed out. That's why we need you, young, motivated recruits like yourselves. Can you tell us about Sergeant Melson, sir? Melson's alright. A bit young, a bit rowdy, a bit gung-ho, but the Rangers need that now. We need new blood, like yourselves. Who is Wade Woodson, sir? Woodson's that man right over there, my radio wingman, the man who keeps me on the air. If you want to know more about the repeater units or how to use radio, see him. Who is Ethel Muir, Captain? One of the brightest minds in the Citadel. She's really helped us get our weapons and armor up to scratch, and she's always coming up with new and better stuff. Worth a visit just to see what she's got cooking. Anything else you can tell me about Ace? Ace and I went way back to the prison days. We fought Finster and the base Cochise robot army together. We rebuilt the Citadel from scratch. That I sent him on the mission which got him killed hangs heavy on my heart, and Angie's never gonna forgive me. You think it was more than just a robot, sir? I don't know. Ace fought plenty of robots in his time, and they never gave him any trouble, so I'm wondering if this was something new, something worse, and if it is, we better find out. Listen, if you brought that thing back with you, or even just a part of it, show it to Mir Captain over in the armory like I said. She might be able to ID it. And here, take this with you when you bring something to Mir Captain. It's a requisition form for some of Mir Captain's top shelf gear for finding Ace's killer. You deserve it. Any advice for us, sir, now that we're officially Rangers? You are our next generation recruits, and I want you to make us proud. Remember that every action you take reflects directly upon the Desert Rangers as a whole. We have worked hard to gain the trust of the people of Arizona and to have them accept our authority. Keep that in mind every time you draw your weapon or make a promise. The lives of other Rangers and the rule of law depend on your wisdom, honor, and forbearance. Where can we resupply? You'll want to talk to our quartermaster, Sergeant Nelson, about that. He'll provide you with all the weapons, armor, and gear you need to carry out your duties in the Wastelands. You might also want to talk to Ethel Muir Captain or TNT Tan if you need something special. A place to learn? We have a library here where we compile maps and information about the region to help us with our work. If you want to know about any old tech or ancient knowledge, go talk to old Flintlock there. If you've got map questions, see Gilbert. He's our cartographer. Shortcomings, sir? Surely not. I have been too cautious, recruits. Since we took this place over 15 years ago, I focused too much on keeping the peace in areas we know and not enough on outside threats. I wanted to rebuild, get our numbers up, but all I've really been doing is letting the world pass us by. Well, that's got to change, and the change starts with you. You are going to find out where this threat is coming from. Anything to say about the prison? Our old stomping grounds. Since right after the apocalypse, we moved out of there about 15 years ago when we took this place over. Wasn't a bad place, but the Citadel is more defensible. The Red Scorpions have moved into the prison since then. Nasty bunch from all accounts. What's the deal with Erwin John Finster? Craziest jackalope we ever faced. Might have been human once, might have been sane too. But when we met him, he was a crazed android bent on wiping out the human race and replacing us all with mutants. Got his head in our museum if you want to take a look. Ooh, sounds lovely. What happened with Base Cochise? The place was nearly the death of us. Hell, it was nearly the death of the whole human race. Damn malevolent mainframe churning out an endless army of robots. If we hadn't stopped it, well, I hate to think. You know Angie well, sir. Well enough not to talk behind her back when she's standing right in front of me. Hey Angie, how you holding up? Better now, General. I'm only crying 8 hours out of every day now, instead of 16. Ain't no shame in grieving, Angie. No shame at all. TNT Tan. Our munitions expert. Crazy bastard is going to blow us all up one day. Does good work, though. In the field, his ordnance is highly reliable. It's just his workshop that scares the bejesus out of me. Who is Flintlock? Ha! Flintlock was old when I was your age. Now he's ancient. He knows more about the history of the Desert Rangers than any man alive, and he'll tell you so himself. Gilbert. Gilbert was another one of my squad. We called him Thrasher back in the day. A good man to have in a tight spot. Past his fighting days now, though. Took a wound during the Battle of Base Cochise and never fully recovered. Now he's our cartographer, and damn good at it. You'll find him in the museum with Flintlock. What do you think of the Red Scorpions? They call themselves the Red Scorpions Militia now, and lately they've been filling the airwaves with a lot of trash about how they're the real law and order around here. Just another raiding gang, if you ask me. I don't give them the time of day. Okay. Well, apparently we have journals of Vargas's time in the Rangers.